film begins with Charlie Matty returning from a pleasant trip with his son, Anatoly. As they near the city, Anatoly excitedly spots a street performer and asks his father to stop. Charlie agrees with a smile, letting his son run ahead while he looks for parking. But the calm is shattered when masked men ambush Charlie, unleashing a brutal barrage of gunfire. Miraculously, Charlie survives the barrage of bullets. As he fades in and out of consciousness, memories flood back. He recalls sitting across from the mafia boss, old-timer in prison, who warned him gravely, "Once you enter the world of crime, there's no way out." Back in the present, Charlie is rushed to the hospital in critical condition, where surgeons work tirelessly to remove 22 bullets from his battered body. In another twist, we are introduced to Tony Zacchia, a powerful and cunning figure whose sharp appearance mirrors his ruthless nature. Upon hearing news of Charlie's condition, Tony's calculating demeanor raises a chilling question: could he be the mastermind behind hiring assassins to eliminate Charlie? Meanwhile, the shooting rocks the nation, dominating headlines on every major news channel. Anchors disclose that Charlie was once a notorious mafia kingpin who had retired from his life of crime. This revelation intensifies the intrigue and tension, deepening the mystery surrounding the brutal assassination attempt. In the next scene, Police Captain Marie Goldman takes center stage, her resolve clear as she personally leads the investigation, heading straight to the crime scene. Meanwhile, as Charlie battles for his life on the operating table, memories of his past flood back. He recalls the devastating moment he learned of his mentor, old-timer's brutal murder at the hands of a merciless rival. Grief-stricken and driven by a thirst for revenge, Charlie joins forces with his two closest allies, Tony Zacchia and Kareem, to devise a daring plan of retaliation. Their target, Hernandez, a notorious gangster they believed was behind old-timer's death. Fueled by rage and a mutual thirst for vengeance, the young men forged an unbreakable bond of brotherhood. With unwavering determination, they carried out their plan, taking down Hernandez and sealing their fate in the treacherous world of the mafia. In the present, Police Captain Marie Goldman faces mounting pressure from her superiors. Her boss pushes her to drop the case, dismissing Charlie as a mere retired mobster and claiming that gang-related violence doesn't merit police intervention. But Marie stands firm, resolute in her commitment to uncover the truth and deliver justice. Undeterred, Marie pushed forward with the investigation, intent on uncovering the mastermind behind the attack. She visited Charlie in the hospital as he recovered from a grueling surgery. Despite her persistent questioning, Charlie remained silent, his silence creating an air of mystery that filled the room. Frustrated but determined, Marie left, disappointment fleeting across her face. Just as she was leaving, Charlie's lawyer, Martin, arrived, accompanied by his two trusted allies, Kareem and Pat, their faces reflecting a blend of concern and quiet determination. That night, as Marie tucked her son into bed, a sudden phone call shattered the quiet, reopening old wounds and flooding her mind with painful memories of her husband's death. She spent the rest of the evening in silence, alone in the dark with a drink, the weight of her grief heavier than ever. Meanwhile, Kareem struggled with his own turmoil, consumed by anger and grief. Driven by fierce loyalty to Charlie, he vowed to uncover and confront the person behind the attack, no matter the cost. Martin urged Kareem to stay calm and wait for Charlie to wake from his coma before acting rashly. Before they parted, Kareem reminded Martin to stay vigilant and never leave Charlie alone. Meanwhile, a man disguised as hospital staff silently made his way through the corridors, his movements purposeful. Reaching Charlie's room, he kicked the door open, drew a gun, and fired a calculated barrage of shots at Charlie. Gunfire echoed through the hospital, sending staff rushing toward the source. Inside, they found a lifeless body. Shockingly, not Charlie. Captain Marie had anticipated the threat and relocated him to a secure room beforehand. Acting quickly, she ordered increased security and stationed a surveillance team outside. As she monitored the situation, Tony Zacchia arrived, claiming to visit Charlie. but his presence only heightened the suspicion surrounding the case. Tony's visit showed genuine relief at finding Charlie alive. With a composed yet unsettling air, he handed over a congratulatory card and left, subtly warning that surveillance cameras were watching and police were stationed outside. Soon after, Kareem and Martin arrived, quickly arranging for Charlie's discharge and safe transport. Marie, observing their actions, sprang into action, determined to tail their vehicle and monitor their every move. Kareem quickly realized they were being followed and accelerated to shake the tail. To be safe, he called for backup. When Marie lost sight of them due to a brief distraction, Kareem led them to an abandoned warehouse. Inside, one of Tony's men, tied to a chair, trembled in fear, unable to maintain his composure. Charlie, eerily calm, leaned in and coldly assured him, as long as he cooperated, nothing would happen. The terrified man, shaking with fear, denied involvement in the shooting, but revealed a shocking truth. Tony Zacchia, once Charlie's closest friend, had ordered his men to eliminate him. He explained that Tony resented Charlie for leaving the criminal world and handing control of the drug empire to him. Consumed by paranoia, Tony feared Charlie might return to challenge his authority. The confession left Charlie stunned as he grappled with the betrayal of the one person he had trusted the most. Kareem urged Charlie to eliminate Tony, but Charlie hesitated. Tony had been his closest friend, sharing countless vows and memories, and the weight of those promises made action difficult. Eventually, Kareem relented, and Martin drove Charlie home, where his family's warm welcome provided a brief moment of peace. Meanwhile, Kareem, returning home late that night, was ambushed by Tony's men, emerging from the shadows. In an instant, Tony's men kidnapped Kareem, dragging him into the darkness. It was revealed that the plot to kidnap Charlie had been masterminded by the man tied to the chair in the warehouse who had tried to regain Tony's favor but was shot for his betrayal. As a final chilling message, the assailant severed one of Kareem's fingers and sent it to his family as a warning. Charlie, absorbed in his work and routines, was blindsided by the news of Kareem's death. The shock hit him hard, leaving him broken and speechless. At the funeral, he stood silently, watching Kareem's family mourn, the weight of the loss heavy on his heart. As the grief around him sank in, a surge of anger erupted within him, fueling an all-consuming thirst for revenge. Before carrying out his plan, Charlie ordered Pat to move his family to a safe location, protecting them from the chaos ahead. Meanwhile, Tony's associates threw a loud celebratory dinner, acting as if the brutal murder they'd committed the night before held no consequence. But their fleeting moment of victory was about to end. Charlie was no longer the man they remembered. He had transformed into an unstoppable force, primed to exact his revenge. Unarmed, Charlie gave them one last chance to say their goodbyes, for soon they would all pay with their lives. His icy composure never wavered as he singled out the man who had shot him, recognizing him by the distinctive watch on his wrist. Without hesitation, Charlie shot him dead, his expression unshaken. Moving through the chaos with terrifying precision, he left the remaining men paralyzed with fear, untouched by any consequence. The next day, one of Tony's henchmen visited the graves of the fallen, preparing to light incense in their memory. Before he could even strike a match, death found him as Charlie emerged from the shadows, swiftly ending his life without hesitation. Realizing Charlie had taken matters into his own hands, Tony ordered a raid on Charlie's home, determined to find him and his family. But the search yielded nothing. Meanwhile, Charlie, unaware of the threat, peacefully enjoyed a quiet moment with his loyal cat in a secluded corner of the city. Moments later, Martin, Charlie's lawyer, arrived at the house, stunned by the chaos unfolding within. It was clear things were on the brink of spiraling out of control. In a panic, Martin tried to reach Charlie, unaware that one of Tony's men had been following him and discovered Charlie's hiding place. Soon they were surrounded. With steely resolve, Charlie stood his ground, confronting the attackers with unshaken courage. Meanwhile, Martin, desperate to escape, raced toward a boat in a last-ditch effort to flee. One of Tony's henchmen soon cornered Martin, leaving him with no escape. Meanwhile, Charlie made a frantic attempt to flee on a motorcycle, but Tony's men quickly closed in. His escape was cut short when he collided with a police car, and he was swiftly arrested, facing the consequences of his actions. This encounter brought Charlie face to face with Captain Marie Goldman once again. In the interrogation room, Marie dropped a bombshell. She had discovered several bullets embedded in the wall at the crime scene, potentially revealing secrets Charlie had never anticipated. Her findings indicated that one of the 5 gunmen hadn't meant to kill him, casting serious doubt on the case. After careful consideration, Marie decided not to arrest Charlie immediately, convinced that Tony Zacchia was responsible for her husband's death. That night, Tony Zacchia celebrated his daughter's wedding, oblivious to the danger outside. Meanwhile, Charlie silently waited in the shadows, swiftly capturing one of Tony's henchmen. Holding him at gunpoint, Charlie demanded all the information on Tony's drug operations, determined to expose his dark secrets. Enraged by the news, Tony stormed out of the party and rushed to his drug lab where his fury erupted. Without hesitation, he coldly ordered his henchmen to capture Charlie, dead or alive. The next morning, Pat went to pick up Charlie's children, Anatoly and Eva, from school. What seemed like a normal day turned into a nightmare when a truck suddenly screeched to a halt beside them. In a flash, the men inside grabbed the children and sped off with them. When Marie arrived, she immediately sensed the gravity of the situation. Soon after, the police found Eva and brought her to the station, but Anatoly was still missing. Bruised and exhausted, Eva collapsed and tearfully revealed a devastating truth. Anatoly would be killed unless Charlie surrendered. As Captain Marie left the police station, Charlie suddenly appeared beside her in the car. Desperately, he asked for her help in fabricating a news story claiming he had been captured, hoping it would convince Tony to halt his pursuit and release his son. Desperate to save his son, Charlie promised to surrender if Anatoly was returned safely, and Marie reluctantly agreed to help. However, when Tony learned of Charlie's supposed capture, his rage grew. He immediately sent a henchman to eliminate Anatoly, now that the boy had no further value. Unbeknownst to them, Charlie was silently tracking the thug on a motorcycle, determined to reach Anatoly before it was too late. Inside the house, one of Tony's henchmen stood guard over Anatoly, awaiting the order to kill. However, when the command came, the henchman defied it, releasing Anatoly instead. Outside, Charlie became entangled in barbed wire, struggling to break free. As the thug shoved Anatoly into the car's trunk, Charlie sprang from his hiding spot, attacking with relentless fury. He subdued the henchman, beating him senseless, and quickly freed Anatoly. When Charlie returned home, he reassured his wife that they no longer needed to hide. He had taken care of Tony's entire crew. The next day, as Tony relaxed at home, Charlie unexpectedly appeared. Despite everything that had happened, Charlie was willing to put the past behind them, valuing their long friendship. However, driven by his insatiable thirst for power, Tony refused to let go. He was determined to end Charlie's life once and for all, regardless of their shared history. Tony slammed Charlie to the ground, pressing a gun to his face, but when Tony lowered his guard, Charlie seized the moment and turned the tables. Just then, the police arrived, timing their intervention perfectly, and arrested Tony for running a drug operation. It was revealed that Charlie had secretly collaborated with Captain Marie to gather the evidence that exposed Tony as the drug lord. When the police questioned Charlie afterward, they found no evidence linking him to the drug trade. With no grounds to hold him, they had no choice but to release him. As Charlie left the police station, Martin picked him up, and Charlie immediately asked him to drive to the parking lot where he'd been shot. Once there, Charlie was shocked to realize that Martin had fired the shot at the wall. Betrayal surged through him as he aimed his gun at Martin, but Martin quickly explained that Tony had ordered him to kill someone, though he hadn't known it was Charlie until later. Unable to go through with it, Martin confessed he had been horrified. In a twist, Charlie revealed that he'd deliberately shot at the wall to silently thank Martin for sparing him. The final scene shows Charlie and his family enjoying a peaceful day at the beach, walking happily as the sun sets.